And then you saw this 22-year-old lady, Miss Brooks, with her mother. You knocked her to the...
You won't believe what happened in this courtroom. Then everything changed.
You knocked her to the ground, and you tried the same offense again, right?
She wasn't with her mother, but yes.
Still a 22-year-old lady. Still somebody that you knocked to the ground, put a gun to her head, did the same thing again. Right? Say that you were going over 100 miles an hour in an effort to evade them. Right?
I don't remember nothing as much mom.
Definitely well in excess of the speed limit, correct? You're doing everything you could to get away from it. Right?
Sure.
Just like today, you're doing everything you can to try to make sure you get probation, as opposed to, I'm going to ask this judge to give you 15 years, right?
The parties have rested the presentation of evidence. The court has the pre-sentence report that has been submitted by the probation office and admitted without objections. And the court has considered also the several letters, character letters that have been submitted on behalf of the defendant, which are 8. I see 8 in number. All right. Arguments by the parties. What are you asking for, please? State.
Judge, I think you know it's clear that I'm asking for the 15 years. I think that I feel for his mom, and I understand the pastor and what his girl does. I can't even begin to imagine what that 4 and 1-year-old have thought since the incident. I agree with my complainants on the scenario, having talked with Mr. Barker as well as Ms. Brooks, and I think that they're absolutely right that it would be a mistake to...
Right away, you can feel where this is headed. The prosecutor isn't just listing crimes, he's painting a pattern. Every right forces the defendant to acknowledge his own actions, making it harder to deny responsibility later. Do you think someone with this history deserves another chance? Or has that opportunity already been
It would be a mistake to give this man the second opportunity that he's asking for, which is in truth more than that.
Criminal sanctions and penalties are essentially based upon 2 factors: the circumstances of the crime and criminal history. But there's also a third factor, and that is the life of a defendant. And here, what the court finds most compelling is that in the commission of this crime, it's already been pointed out that you assaulted 2 people, and both of them were threatened and in fear of their life by you, who has no authority to do that. You don't take God's will into your hands. And when you have a loaded firearm, and it was loaded, wasn't it?
No, sir, it wasn't loaded.
I'm sorry. What did you just say to me?
It wasn't loaded, Your Honor.
Sir?
It was not loaded, Your Honor.
You're looking at me, and I'm about to sentence you and make a decision, and you just told me it was not loaded? All right, let me read the report to you. Maybe you just screwed up. Because, sir, this is your life. Underneath the Charger's driver's seat, you were in a Charger, right?
It's John.
On the floorboard, in plain view, was a dark brown Glock with a laser attachment, just like the lady said, underneath the barrel. The Glock had 1 magazine inside with 10 9mm rounds. Shame on you. To look me in the eye and just bold-faced try to fool me? Is that what this all is? A charade?
But no, Your Honor. It's not.
You assaulted a woman, didn't have to. You assaulted a woman, had a loaded gun. What are you bringing a loaded gun to robberies for? Unless you intend to use it, sir. And then the man in front of his children, his little children. And the 1-year-old may not ever remember, but the 4-year-old, I remember when I was 4, certain occasions that were traumatic. We all do. You're the source of that horror for that child. Plus, again, you have a gun, and they really didn't know it was loaded, but when you point a gun at somebody and threaten them, they're going to assume their life is a clock's tick away. You have the power, which our Creator doesn't give you. You forced it on fellow humans, God's creatures. As we want to bring this up, how religious. You've been going to church for a long time. But yet, you are here by a cacophony, a product of bad choices that defy your education in high school, that defy your upbringing and church going, that defy military. All of those are methods of helping people to make the best choices they can make. And after all of that, you put multiple people in harm's way. Here, your attorney has fashioned with the state, has fashioned a limit where you have reduced your exposure for 2 violent first-degree felonies from life imprisonment to a maximum of 15 years in prison, well before you're 30 years of age, essentially ruining the lives of at least two sets of people. Because I know what is told to me. They wake up with the horror of this experience their whole life. Because they are not in control of their life. You were in control, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. We're all in this together. Live honestly, harm no one, give each person their rightful due. That's everything about law. And that's everything about religion. All wrapped up in those 3 concepts, which all 3 were shattered here by your action. All right, I'm going to find in each of these cases you have pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understood the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty pleas from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in each of these cases. To support your guilty plea, to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in each of these cases. And I am following the agreements. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 15 years on each case to run concurrently. The judgment shall show an affirmative finding that a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, was used in the commission of each of these crimes.
Subscribe for more real courtroom moments.